Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday encounter in a typical life of an Aspie. As you guys are fully aware, I wasn't so sure on how I'm going to come across or address to some of these everyday topics that many of us autistics and Aspies alike pretty much tend to struggle with in our everyday lives, no matter what it was. I thought about a lot of the reasonings to why I shouldn't or should have brought some of these topics, but then again I thought now is the time just to create an awareness and an understanding, as well as reaching those aims and goals as I first introduced you all on my channel, on basically removing the stereotypes of people's thought patterns about AS, how they may think AS is all about, creating a better understanding pretty much between us sort of thing, as well as the creating the knowledge and know-how on how to handle, well, not handle as such, but just to know about how to go in your everyday life if you meet an Aspie like me, or just a normal everyday person that has similar traits and symptoms of Asperger's syndrome. I then decided when I was doing this channel, however, to have the courage just to address to you all about some concerns and some matter of opinions that many people may come across, as some of these topics that I'm going to share won't be in my book, to just give you the heads up. Some of them are hopefully just due to my knowledge and know-how, as well as based on my everyday experiences of what I've been through, basically through my struggles, hopefully to give you a better understanding and also hopefully encouragement to you all and an enlightenment to you all when you do actually walk into my shoes, no matter what it may be. I just thought through this moment of time with the video blog series, however, I thought to myself, no matter what, you know, that there will be some in my book of my life story and journey, but then again, no. Just want to make it clear to you all that living with this and other conditions are different to everyone and anyone that suffers with AS, autism, be it another condition like ADHD or anything like that. But as I said, I'm hoping leading up to many of my videos that I'll be addressing to more different, well, not mental health issues, but other top conditions that will come about, sort of thing. Let's be real here though, however, fair and honest. I may not have all the answers for you all, or even the tips, but some of the tips I may have comes from only based on my experiences of what I've been through in my everyday life with AS and all these other pre-diagnosed conditions that revolves around it all too. As I just mentioned before to you all though, however, basically I want to keep that up to you, you know, to meet them and achieve them of these aims and goals that I've mentioned before just now. Everyday people may be thinking, asking themselves the very same questions over and over again, like, how am I to go about telling you all that I have AS, or what shall I say to the ones that I have AS, sort of thing. And to the retrospect, hopefully that I don't have to have that mentality in me of the clouding judgment or thought patterns that I may have of people out there that may have that lacking of understanding, knowledge and awareness of me with AS, even though, yes, like I've said in one of my videos of my brief introduction, that basically I'm cool, calm, collected. You may see me as a normal person just going my everyday life, pretty much just doing my everyday things, be it whatever it may be. For example, maybe socializing with you all, or I might be talking on the phone, maybe just, you know, casually walking down the street, just having a general conversation with you all, even though, yes, as I said before, I do struggle. There are many other questions, however, when it arises about this topic I'm sharing with you all. Do I tell people at work? Do I tell people at my everyday social school life or social life, be it if I'm studying, you know, at a polytech, or people that I work for? Do they really need to know about I have AS or what have you? These answers will be hopefully in this video, however, to continue on basically on this journey. Every day, many people, however, will have these questions and may feel so overwhelmed or have mixed feelings and thoughts running through their heads of, like I said before, with me when it came about, when I was trying to come out of my shell to express to you all that I had AS and all that. Thinking that, will they laugh at me or will they take me seriously? Even though, yes, okay, sometimes I feel a bit, to be honest, sensitive and insecure about certain things of what I would like to share, but then I had the courage just to think, right, I need to just build up a relationship first maybe with some people and then bring about it or what have you. But then again, sometimes some people have told me in my social circle some things are better left unsaid. But then again, to me, some things should be at least said and done so that hopefully it gains that better understanding and knowledge and not cause conflict and disagreements through certain parties of the normal NTs versus us with autism or ADHD or whatever condition that may lie across. To be real and honest with you, the decision, however, is up to us with the condition to address ourselves to the people around us of how we're going to go about, you know, telling them that we have AS and how we work about it, pretty much. And only you and I can't forever, for me personally, I can't tell you forever to do it this way or that way, because as I said, everyone works differently and they're different ages and stages in life of the condition of AS. So therefore, you know, to me, I feel like as a person or on a level where we can say that we're friends, and I want to know how or would you react towards me when it comes down to this. Everything these days seems to be clear cut to the point of basically that we should be sweeping things under the carpet, act like that we don't know anything, or we tend to just have some sort of understanding to a point that where no one tends to want to have some other understanding and a knowledge and know-how of the power to actually do all this and more. However, yet I hope with this video, I hope to admit people with AS that are different and that we all work differently in a way that hopefully will create a better understanding, as I said before, and knowledge as well as a self-awareness of how we go about everyday things. And to also to tell the people around you whom you may feel to trust, be it your work colleagues, be it your friends, be it whoever it may be. Since I have realised when I've been clinically diagnosed with AS, however, that there has been a lot of other people on the spectrum with AS, and AS is now becoming predominantly, as I've said so many times before, showing more often than when we don't realise. Sometimes, as I said, some of these diagnoses that are hidden under the mask of basically the AS, like I mentioned in one of my videos of the hidden mask of depression, that it can come about, as well as any other condition as well. There is, however, a little bit more level of knowledge and understanding and awareness on this condition, but then again, as I said, I still feel in my being that there needs to be some self-awareness and knowledge and know-how, so to speak, to know what's going on around us, and also hopefully to make that meeting up to basically talk about it more and more each time. The films and media tends to build up something that's not there sometimes with certain things about the AS, how people work with AS, however, be it like as the example with, what's his name, one on The Big Bang Theory, the most close-up one that many people may follow through, of basically Sheldon, how he acts and adjusts to his environment and all that in front of people around him, be it whatever it may be, you know, sort of thing, to be in his comfort zone. Sometimes I feel that some media and films do tend to pretty much put out there what's not there for real, but then again sometimes they do actually misread or misinterpret the everyday struggles of people with AS, basically that it is real, forever real for us, so to speak, so that then hopefully that even though despite the films and media how they address how people should act, think and speak with the AS, sometimes in this day and age though, they find us kind of quirky, weird, unpredictable, not comfortable in their own skin, they're not sociable, and the like. Sometimes it will tend to then later on the track lead to people to think and assume that with this it isn't a quick fix or a quick diagnosis. Some people may question to our thinking, behaviour patterns and traits that we're showing yet again may lead to the thinking of you, how starting telling someone that without realising what they already know about it, and then the technical and going in the tangent conversations begin with us when we do tend to want to address ourselves to this day and age. This, however, makes it extremely difficult because you'll start, as I said, you know, sometimes we'll tend to misread the body language or the cues of people, and then you tend to think how to approach anyone that has AS. Okay, these are the steps that I'm going to address to you all. Knowing how to tell someone that you have AS. Now, let's begin. Imagine meeting or having another meeting with a counsellor, psychologist, or any other medical practitioner that you've been dealing with the AS, and you feel like you have to create a script in your mind, pretty much thinking, okay, how I'm going to go about this. It's like I said before, like as if you have to rehearse everything in a film strip, and then basically build up a character of reference for yourself on how you're going to address yourself to that person for the very first time, as if you have to start over and over again, sort of thing. It's like almost like, to me, how it is, you know, pressing the repeat button on a video or a repeat button on the music session that you want to address to yourself, sort of thing. Sometimes when doing it, it feels like it's a boring and tiring task, but however, then you just get into the rhythm of things and you feel at ease, and then hopefully when time goes by, then when you meet different people, that hopefully people will tend to understand you to the point of hopefully no one will just judge you and think that, you know, there is a problem when there is not actually a problem, but it's just a struggle that you deal with of this condition of AS. However, sometimes it's like you've read a book or even a script, as I said, from a film that you have to pretty much address yourself or practice and revise so many times before, sort of thing. For some of the things that you may want to say or do, however, sometimes you may feel that you have it all figured out and written out to a point of a script of what you want to say to people, and then again, it's like I said, sometimes some of us may withhold ourselves and withdraw back from our circle, thinking, now, what am I going to say to them? You know, the fear factor, probably, I don't know. Like I said, sometimes the fear factor can overwhelm us, as well as all these other overwhelming feelings when we do. I feel that when you tell someone who doesn't have AS that you're almost like playing a part of a scene in a movie, as I keep saying, or even on a stage or a camera. Hence what I'm doing right now to you. The people who knows I have AS is pretty much my family members, some of my closest friends, some of the people I've worked for in the past and present, pretty much also the lecturers I've been dealing with, basically, who I've been studying with, sort of thing. They know basically how I work, even though I'm a bit, you know, unsure of myself how to go about certain things, but that's just how I am. However, I may have, yet I didn't felt to tell everyone all at once, however, as I said before, making it like a script and stuff in my head. Some of them may already have known, since I didn't have to tell them. Sometimes they may have just picked up some of the cues inside of me, basically of my social behaviour traits and whatnot. Oh, okay, Kerrin's got this. What are we going to do to hopefully make her life easier? How to make things just so easier to follow through. Anyway, next one is telling teachers or bosses that I work with how I would approach and tell them that I have AS and act in a non-socialising way sometimes, even though some people may think people with AS is non-sociable, you know. Is they're not my friends, got to act professionally, so pretty much professionalism and all those other criteria that fits into the place of these guidelines that you have to abide by. You can't treat your bosses or your teachers as if you're friends sometimes, because if you have to act like on a professional level, that, you know, confidentiality is important, as well as basically the trust factor of obviously bringing it out about how you're going to address this to them. Sometimes though, however, I'm the kind of person that will think first before I do. Many people may think, oh, I'm going too slow about this, but then again, with my decision making, it may be slow to the point of hopefully thinking of how it'll go about it, and hopefully thinking that there will not going to be any consequences that will follow. But even though I know for a fact now what I've learned, that in everyday decisions there will tend to be some consequences that may, you know, hurt others, of some people, of the decisions we make. It may affect them more than me, or vice versa. It may affect me more than them in the circle. So how will I address it? Well, I could say something like, hi, such and such, you know, can we just sit down and talk? I've been diagnosed with AS and the other conditions. I'm not sure to know how much you may have been aware or know how to go about dealing with this condition that I'm dealing with today. But this is a personal diagnosis report. I could call it like a little report card that you've got as if you're addressing to them, but you don't have to give it to them then on the spot. However, to let you know how I do my everyday tasks and activities. Could give them a brochure maybe of some sort with AS and highlight a few key words and bits and pieces and maybe write little notes here and there for them just to say this is how you work into the listings of what may be on that brochure. Excuse me. And if you've got any questions, just to be not afraid to ask me, even though I may not have everyday answers. But then again, you know, I'll do the best to address them to you, to understand, and hopefully we can get in a better understanding. As I mentioned before, though, not everyone has the same level of intelligence or understanding based on how people work with AS. Yet, to me, as I said so many times before, knowledge, awareness, and obviously understanding between us all of the party can go a long way. Okay, number 2 is telling a friend. I don't have that many people in my social circle today, however, that I could address to people about me having AS, basically, because at the end of the day, you know, people come and go, as I've learnt, you know. Many people have left me for their own valid reasons in life. Some has gone just to go the merry way overseas, some may have things. But then again, there are some people that are still in touch with me today, despite it all, of their everyday busy schedule sort of thing. And then there are some people, however, I could call as friends as a social media network page on certain pages on Facebook that I feel that I can just feel at ease just telling them my life story and journey with the AS, what I've been through or what I've been up to and whatnot. Just have a genuine everyday conversation, even if I'm not doing a face-to-face conversation with others around me. Yet sometimes, as I said though, however, like, I could say something like to the ones, if they were my friends, you know, that has come in my circle, could we sit down and talk, pretty much. I have AS, I do struggle with a few things in general, and that you may not even understand to why I struggle or how I go about my everyday life despite these struggles that I face, sort of thing. Yes, I'm different from you, let's just work something out and hopefully we can just reflect and understand it all, you know. And then I could say to them about my everyday struggles if they really want to know about them, basically, to know to the point of hopefully meeting in the middle and hopefully that we can just, well, not solve the problem, but just solve it to a point so that we can actually be in a right way of thinking. Try to understand each other and getting to know each other by building up a relationship can be real awesome. You know, and being able to work alone or in a group setting, be it whatever activity it might be, sometimes could be good too for most of us. Because sometimes I feel better when I'm alone. I can self-absorb into certain things that I enjoy, even though many people think that I shouldn't be isolating myself out with people around me. But then again, you know, it's just I feel that sometimes when I'm around people, it's just kind of hard to express it in a way that hopefully people will say it. I may not understand everything and everyone around me, however, I am not perfect, nor is you. Even if I do get overwhelmed in certain situations, you know, could give them some examples to what overwhelms me and hopefully let you guys know how I deal with the feelings that keeps building up, leading up to that point of sensory overload and that overwhelming sensation feel, which can be telling your family. This can be difficult for me to share sometimes because they already know my quirks, my traits, my characteristics, my behaviour patterns, my thought patterns, and so many more things, that to the point that sometimes they may, like anyone else, probably question me of how I go about things, and it's like, what the hell is she doing? She could have done it better that way. But then again, sometimes many of my families has now started to try to feel like, you know, accept me for what I do, and that's alright. I want to have everyone to understand how I work. Anyway, our family, however, is one that is hard or can be hard for many of us on the spectrum, pretty much, to accept that there is something wrong with you. As people, many think that just because we've got AS that there's something wrong with us. Yeah, there might be to a point there is something wrong with us, but then at the end of the day, I wouldn't like to think or dream that there's something wrong with me, even though, yes, I may have AS. AS is part of me, as I said in one of my videos, but then again, it's what made me who I am today, sort of thing. That's fine, because everybody has their own thoughts and assumptions of whatever is to come. That's their choice, no matter what it may be, you know, because that's what the things in the first place, whatever their reasons may be, sort of thing, without having to pretty much have that judgmentality thought myself. With telling someone in my family, they already know my quirks and traits and more, like I said, then suddenly think, okay, right, there's something wrong with you. They may take it the way that they'll feel is right for them to take it, sort of thing. And then therefore, at the end of the day, then sometimes, like, as I said, there's certain countries that are lacking of basically certain help out there for people with autism, AS, and that despite that there are certain support networks, as I said, on the net, on the social media, on Facebook. But then again, I feel that there needs to be something more to do for this. But then again, I guess it's up to, you know, how the government might work. Sometimes also with our family, when they come about with us, they can hopefully meet in the middle like anyone and hopefully find some strategies to cope with. There are other information and treatments needed that will be helpful to every and one of us. People may tend to think that you'll be able to work on your everyday problems or struggles that you face every day, however, in the way that other people who doesn't have AS of the normal NTs. We need to get out of our skin and comfort zone, however, to keep better at the weaknesses that we may have, to just keep falling into the right pattern to build it up, however. But then sometimes that can backfire on us with AS. Some of us may feel that when we keep pushing ourselves for those weaknesses and stuff that we don't realise that we have, that sometimes it makes it worse than better. Sometimes I feel that we have to get worse before we get better of certain situations that arises. Excuse me. The everyday things we do and may struggle with may get worse. The easier to do things yet of the unknown with may tend to hide in a, many of us might tend to hide in a shell and not come out. And the more we do this, often it is easier to become. But then again, as I said, that it might not. Want to hope that most people I talk to will have an open mind to end this and be able to understand and to believe at face value of our everyday struggles, rather than to think and assume that in that NT brain of theirs that we're telling them something that they think is not real. Because in reality, this is our life story, you know, having AS, be it if someone else comes to us that they say, for example, they have depression, not telling their life story. So it's a bit of give and take here, I'm sharing. They will try to think of ways to fix it, yet we don't have your own non-NT brain. As I said many times before, us autistics, at face value, we pretty much are wired differently. Aspies brain to be in our years of our life to communicate, be super social of the certain changes that we need to do for ourselves. Some of us may have already tried it your way and it didn't work, so therefore sometimes many of us will tend to think it's okay just to, you know, bring ourselves about and actually find out another way sort of thing. Some of us are like open-minded enough to actually find out solutions for ourselves, how to go about it, and then again some of us will just tend to think, okay, we're thinking outside the box here, we want to think of other, you know, conclusions. Some questions, however, may be offensive to others, however, or just to ourselves, but we need to just hold back that thought of people do tend to question us, because as I said before, the lack of understanding the awareness that it brings about. Telling people AS again is by choice, as I said before. You have the power to decide, pretty much. Sometimes, however, I feel that it can backfire. Telling people with AS can actually affect and change the way of people think and act towards us. Better if we're in a relationship, for example, and you told your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, that you have AS, and then all of a sudden, booyah, they'll think you're too hard to understand all those label mentalities that I've mentioned previously in one of my videos, and then they decide that they want to go the other way, because obviously many of the people I've noticed, as I said in one of my videos, are here for just for the ride. Some of them just probably there for the good times and not the bad, you know, so to speak. In summary, if you take an explanation from a net from the net about AS, basically. Be prepared to actually prepare yourself a script or write a little letter to someone if you feel to write a letter to someone that is you wanted to address about this AS, and let's go about it, you know. Key thing to remember, however, different level of understanding to how people with AS will work is going to cause some confusion and misunderstanding. Yet with awareness, knowledge and more, it will be an easier and better place for everyone to live in, and hopefully just get on with life, no matter what it is. That ends my channel, basically, of to tell or not to tell, how to tell someone that you have AS. Basically, it's called. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Remember, guys, just to give me the heads up, you know, pretty much of any topics that you may want me to address. However, just bear in mind too, also with that AspieAnswersAll, that I would like to keep on addressing, that it's got to be user friendly here, no judgmentality of provided in that, and hopefully that I can come about to you all in a positive way, to you all, you know, giving you advice or support, whatever it may be. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.